How to become an artist in 6 easy steps. Step 1. Enjoy making pretty things. You might like making aesthetically pleasing things, like perhaps pasting your used candy wrappers into a journal. And you really like chocolate, so you're going to paste your mini wrappers folded into 3 different sizes because it looks kind of cool and you think it's crazy to waste such good candy wrappers. Step 2. Draw some stuff. Artists obviously need to be able to draw, so you're going to have a go at it yourself. Your first subject matter is your neighbour's house because houses are more or less lines, right? So you figure that's a pretty good starting point. The next thing you draw is your guitar in your room because it's right there and you're bored. This one's a bit more tricky because it's not all lines, and your lamp casts a shadow that you can't quite get right. And don't forget that stuffed whale you forgot to move. Now that you've got some practice in, you think you're ready for more of a challenge. Lucky for you, you brought a pad and pencil to your sleepover and your friend has a cool mirror. Nice try at some artsy smudging, but your shadows could definitely use some work. Which brings us to step 3. Take an art class. The first thing you do in art class is to practice drawing contour lines. Weird, right? But it's ultimately helpful, I promise. Gradients and shadows. This is something that you know you need to work on, so you'll be pretty excited to be learning how to shade with different pencils and cast shadows for all these shapes. Your lessons on colour will also be really fun. Of course, you knew the basics of colour before, but now you get to make your very own colour wheel, using only the 3 primary colours, and learn all about the different relationships colours have with each other, and the effects that they can be used to achieve in your work. You're going to do some more of those gradient strips, but this time, you'll apply what you learned about colours to make yourself a nice little panel of information for future reference. Now you'll get to use all that you've learned to sketch still life items in colour. This will prove to be a bit more challenging for you, but you'll have a feeling that you're getting the hang of this art thing. This is until you hear the next lesson is facial features. Yikes, you've never even attempted this before, but you'll give it your best shot. It's actually going to go pretty well as you work from eyes to lips. In fact, they won't look half bad. They'll have some decent definition to them. The teeth won't look too odd, but noses will make you want to pull your hair out. Noses are so weird. You'll never realise how weird they are until you have to draw them. Is that a cave? Oh dear, is a troll going to come eat me? The next lesson will be on an art movement called Fauvism, which will sound pretty neat until you start to paint. As soon as you're done, you'll feel like they're judging you. Yep, definitely judging. Totally judging you. A look into that black soul of my judging eyes. Step 4. Gather proper art supplies. Now that you've taken some art classes, you'll be ready to get your own. Supply number 1, drawing. It'll be essential that you obtain proper drawing supplies so that you can utilise all of your newfound skills from art class to improve upon those pesky sketches you can never quite get right. You'll also get yourself a healthy amount of notebooks and sketch pads in various sizes to fit all of your artistic drawing needs. Supply number 2, paint. Sure, you're not an expert painter yet, but you'll still get all the canvases you can to be ready when inspiration strikes. So of course, you need every size and shape imaginable. And you'll make sure that your canvases are the cheap ones because you won't be a real artist yet and you don't have any money. Next, you have to get some paintbrushes and sponges. Yes, sponges. Sponges are fun, trust me. And don't forget the paint. You can't paint without paint for those paintbrushes, obviously. Step 5. Apply your skills. Now that you've taken classes to hone your skills and become a proper artist, you'll find yourself branching out a bit and making your own sketches rather than simply copying straight from the world around you. This starts off well at first, but you will find your pieces getting more and more vague as you go along until you realise that you might not be cut out for that kind of hardcore drawing. And congratulations! You're an artist. But wait. Oh shoot. I'm missing something, aren't I? What could it be? Oh, yeah, that's it. Step 6. do it for yourself. At this point, you'll realise that your artwork is never going to look like the masterpieces of Michelangelo or Van Gogh or Picasso. No one will be lining up at the thousands to bid on your work. But you know what? That is totally okay, because your artwork makes you happy. And isn't that the point of it anyways? You love your artwork because you're proud of how you set out to paint a tree and ended up with a unique mash of swirling colours instead. Your artwork makes you proud when people think it's cool, that your planet painting is actually a finger painting, and that the added details of colouring the background was really just dabbing your fingers off on your canvas. Your artwork gives you a personal sense of accomplishment when you finger paint a piece and use toothpicks to drag the lines of grass, and just because you felt like completing a painting without using paintbrushes. Now, before I leave you, I only ask that on days when you don't feel like an artist anymore, you remember that Vincent van Gogh said, "If you hear a voice within you say, 'You cannot paint,' then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced." And if all you can paint are dots, well, those dots are awesome, and you are still an artist. And that's about it. Congratulations! You're officially an artist.